This coach adds laxatives to the water, and then he has his soccer players drink it, expecting his team to lose. However, the players run around the field in a frenzy and quickly kick the ball into the goal. The coach was disappointed, so he handed the player another bottle of laxative. I've never seen a kid with such a wild strategy. Chugging a bottle of laxative, he charged across the soccer field with the ferocity of a tiger. After downing another bottle, even the most robust soccer players had to step aside. Just as it seemed he would continue his unstoppable advance, an urgent need struck him at the critical moment. The soccer prodigy made a frantic dash for the restroom, forcing the game to pause.
Crotilo,
however, wore a mysterious smile. All of this was his deliberate doing. This imposter Crotilo desperately wanted to lose to end the game early, because his bride was waiting for him at their wedding.
Crotilo,
hailing from the far eastern regions of Russia, is both a namesake of the famed Crotilo and a writer. During a car accident, Crotilo met the female protagonist, Nadia, when the police inquired about the responsibility for the accident. Nadia's fiancé irresponsibly claimed he was just a bystander, a novice driver, and moreover, a woman. Crotilo's spontaneous decision to take the blame for the accident not only showcased his chivalrous nature, but also marked the beginning of a whirlwind romance with Nadia. Captivated by her at first sight, Crotilo's admission of fault was a clear choice when faced with the prospect of marriage. Nadia, touched by his gesture, chose him over her fiancés, and their relationship warmed considerably over a week. As their time together drew to a close, Crotilo proposed decisively, and to his delight, Nadia accepted. On the day, Crotilo was supposed to quit his job and head to Moscow for the wedding. Fate intervened in a most unexpected way. At the train station, where the mayor was kicking off a youth soccer tournament,
Crotilo,
hoping to slip away unnoticed, accidentally bumped into the mayor. Under the mistaken identity encouraged by the principal, Crotilo was transformed into a professional soccer coach named after himself. The mayor, excited by the coincidence, immediately tore up Crotilo's train ticket, confiscated his passport, and appointed him as the head coach of the soccer team. Caught in this unexpected turn of events, Crotilo found himself torn between his newfound responsibility and his desire to be with Nadia. With just one day left before his wedding, Crotilo was in a bind, but his neighboring team's coach, Old Wang, offered a crafty solution. If Crotilo's team lost the game quickly, he could make it back in time for his wedding.
Crotilo,
who was an amateur in soccer with no proper team, found the idea of losing quite feasible. He phoned his fiancée, Eris, and explained that he had caught a virus on the train and was the only one unaffected. But the wedding needed to be postponed by a day. To accelerate their loss, Crotilo recruited street kids as players for his team. As expected, the team quickly fell behind 0-2. The players were not only inexperienced, but also unfamiliar with the basic rules of soccer. Crotilo sat excitedly on the sidelines, eagerly awaiting the end of the game so he could lose, retrieve his passport, and hurry back to his bride. His focus was not on winning, but on the swift conclusion of the match to make his timely return to Eris. Despite Crotilo's intentions to lose the match swiftly, the group of makeshift players suddenly came alive with unexpected talent and vigor, dominating their opponents with an astonishing display of skill and scoring one goal after another, leaving the opposing team in awe. To Crotilo's dismay, not only did they overturn the score, but they also advanced to the next round of the tournament. As Crotilo stood there, listening to the mayor's congratulatory words and the announcement of the next match scheduled for the following day, his frustration grew. Meanwhile, at the wedding venue, Eris had already sung 3 songs in anticipation of her groom's arrival, only to receive a phone call instead. Crotilo informed her that the train he was supposedly on had met with another accident, falling into a ravine, and yet again, he was the only survivor. He told her the wedding would have to be postponed another day. Desperate for a quick solution and needing to lose the next match as soon as possible, Crotilo received another visit from Old Wang, who suggested a dubious plan. Old Wang proposed adding laxatives to the players' water, ensuring that their performance would be compromised, and hopefully they wouldn't stand a chance of winning the next game. In his desperation to attend his own wedding, Crotilo scrambled to buy laxatives and discreetly mixed them into his players' water bottles. As the game commenced, to Crotilo's surprise and initial dismay, the players seemed unaffected by the laxatives. Instead of slowing down, they played with even greater vigor, scoring goals one after another. However, as the match neared its critical moments, the effects of the laxatives finally kicked in. The team captain, in the midst of a crucial play, clutched his stomach in sudden distress and dashed off the field towards the restroom, leaving his team in disarray. Despite Crotillo's relentless efforts to secure a loss, when the team captain was sidelined due to the laxative's effects, Crotillo hoped for the team's defense to crumble. However, the goalkeeper unexpectedly rose to the occasion, showcasing remarkable skills that kept the opponents at bay. Seeing no other choice, Crotillo followed the opposing coach's sarcastic suggestion to use a shy boy, known for avoiding the ball, as a makeshift goalkeeper. This boy, initially overwhelmed, was quickly educated on the basic rules by his teammates during a crucial moment when the opponents had leveled the score. His subsequent catches and saves earned him roaring applause from the spectators, bolstering his confidence and dramatically improving his performance. In the dying minutes of the game, as fate would have it, Crotillo's team was awarded a free kick. In a last-ditch attempt to ensure a miss, Crotillo instructed the boy with poor aim to take the shot, expecting the ball to veer off course. However, just as the boy was about to kick, the captain, having recovered enough to return to the field, redirected the boy to aim at him instead. This adjustment corrected the trajectory, leading to a successful goal and yet another unexpected advancement for the team. While the team and the crowd celebrated their continued success, Crotillo was enveloped in despair. His plans to lose had not only failed repeatedly, but had ironically propelled his team into further rounds of the tournament, delaying his return to his waiting bride even more. At the wedding venue, the bride heiress was employing every trick she could think of to delay the proceedings. Meanwhile,
Crotillo,
desperate to make it back in time for his own wedding, decided to take a drastic step by planning to stow away on a ferry. However, he unexpectedly ran into Old Wang, his adversary and unintended mentor, through this ordeal. Disappointed in Crotillo's inability to lose effectively, Old Wang decided to take more drastic measures. He assigned Crotillo and the kids to do heavy lifting under the guise of physical training and even went so far as to lock up the goalkeeper to weaken the team further. As expected, the team performed poorly in the next match without their key goalkeeper, quickly falling behind by 3-0. During the halftime break, the team appeared utterly demoralized, feeling surprisingly relaxed now that his team was losing. Crotillo took the opportunity to engage with his players more deeply. It was only then that he discovered their true motivations. The children shared that reaching the finals meant their games would be televised, providing a chance for their estranged families to see them play. They hoped that by appearing on TV, they might be able to reunite with their parents. After hearing the children's heartfelt reasons for wanting to win, Crotillo felt a deep sense of guilt for almost jeopardizing their chance to reconnect with their families due to his own selfish desires to get back to his wedding. Determined to make amends, he confessed his initial intentions to the team. Although his confession initially met with mixed reactions, it ultimately brought him closer to the players, forging a stronger bond. Emboldened by Crotillo's change of heart and his genuine encouragement, the team rallied spectacularly. They played with renewed vigor and determination, scoring one goal after another and eventually winning the match. This victory secured their place in the finals, giving them the televised exposure they hoped would help them find their families. With his romantic relationship irreparably damaged, Crotillo threw himself into coaching, channeling his energy and focus into supporting the team. As Crotillo dedicated himself fully to his players, the team's performance continued to improve. They grew more skilled and confident, transformed by their coach's commitment and their own growing belief in their abilities. As the crucial final match approached, Old Wang visited Crotillo once again, this time with a more sinister motive. He produced a video of the children unloading goods, which he had secretly recorded earlier. Wang threatened to report Crotillo and the children to the police for theft if they didn't deliberately lose the match. It became clear that Wang's interest in seeing Crotillo lose wasn't for sporting reasons, but because he was involved in a betting scheme. Facing this new threat and their innocence, he and the team planned to feign weakness in the first half of the game, deliberately playing poorly to convince Old Wang that they were complying with his demand to lose. As Old Wang watched the team's seemingly poor performance, he felt confident and let his guard down. unaware of Crutilo's true plan. Seizing this opportunity, Crutilo stealthily retrieved the keys and managed to steal back the incriminating videotape, effectively neutralizing the threat. Seeing Crutilo's successful retrieval of the tape, the team was energized and began to unleash their true potential on the field. With the pressure lifted and their spirits high, they started scoring one goal after another, quickly catching up to and then surpassing the opposing team's score.